We're back with Álvaro González, VP Asia Pacific in Cosentino. In the first part of the interview, we talk about architecture. And now we're going to focus on a sector that is really similar and really correlated with them. Interior design. So both great sectors and really important ones, and they kind of match each other and they need each other. Mm-hmm. So we talk about the sector, the architecture sector in Singapore. Now we're going to explore the interior design one. So Álvaro, can you give us an overview of the current situation of the sector in Singapore?
Mm-hmm. I can tell you I've been in many countries working for Cosentino in the last 10 years. Been dealing with a lot of interior designers, and I've never seen a country like Singapore in terms of interior designers. There are more interior designers per inhabitant than in any other country in the world. Yeah. There are more than 5,000 interior designers here in Singapore. That is a country of 5 million people. So this is a big deal, because at the end of the day, the majority of the end customers here in Singapore, they rely on interior designers to take the decision. In other countries, they rely more in the retailers. They go and visit the kitchen of the studio or a big tile company, or if they are gonna buy faucets or other things, they go to specific retailers. Here in Singapore, they all come with an interior designers, and this is a big deal, because at the end of the day, a lot of people, they have business. They are not big companies. They are normally managed by young people with a lot of technological skills, with a lot of passion, with a lot of drive, with a lot of influence from other parts of the world. And I can tell you, it's the healthiest business of interior design that I've seen in the world. And I've been visiting countries in the 5 continents, and I've never seen something like that.
Wow, extraordinary. So now we understand the current situation of the sector in Singapore, mm-hmm. but you have also, you're Spanish, so you can give us an overview of the differences between the sector in Spain and Singapore. What do you think about it?
The main difference is what I have just told you. So that in Singapore, almost everybody goes with interior designer to do the renovation of their homes, or if they are gonna build a restaurant. In Spain, many of the end customers, they rely on the retailers. They go to a retailer, a big shop, or a tile, or any kind of retailer, to take the decision over there. Here, they rely on the interior designer. They give the plans of the house, and they give them the customer experience. And this is something that the interior designers in Singapore, they do very, very well. They take the whole project, and they bring the customer into a very nice customer experience. They drive them to different showrooms. Here you can choose the kitchen, here you can choose the sofa, here you can choose the television, and they give them the ideas, but they involve the customer in the decision making.
So a more personal decision making,
yeah.
In a way. And we see that the interior design sector is really dynamic. It's ever evolving, mm-hmm. with new trends and new technological changes. So what are the latest trends in Europe versus in Asia?
The main difference between Asia and Europe are some of the colors, the textures, but the reality is that the big trends are the same here and there. Nowadays, a lot of thoughts about sustainability. So the interior designers are trying to look about the best materials, that they are they come from recycled materials, that they can save some energy, that they can save some cost. So it's a lot of talking about sustainability, and the interior designers, they are leading this world. Also, I'm starting to see come back to the basics, that they are trying to do things more simple than ever, and with a kind of look to natural. It can be natural wood, natural stone, so this kind of look, but try to make it simple. Mm-hmm. And this I see here in Singapore, there in Spain, so big trends. And now that the energy cost is going up to the sky, a lot of the designs also go to trying to save some energy through technology, and sometimes through some materials that they are.
So great innovation happening, but also what we see in other sectors, it's a global sector in a way, and we share more similarities and differences now more and more. And now we have talked about the present. So what is your opinion about the future in this sector in Singapore? How do you envision it?
We talk in the architectural part of the interview about demand of houses here in Singapore that is higher the demand than the offer. And the thing in Singapore is that the people they are buying houses here normally is immigration with a good amount of money coming from some countries in Asia. And first thing that they do is renovate the house. Maybe they buy a new house, but they want to renovate, they want to give their touch. And for this, they hire an interior designer. So in the next at least 3-4 years, it's gonna be a lot of work for them here in Singapore. I see more and more companies opening a showroom. We opened a showroom some months ago, and I see in the same area new showrooms happening in the last month, and it will be more and more in the next month. So I think it's gonna keep being a very healthy sector here in Singapore.
Yeah, so very healthy, growing, and with plenty of opportunities. And we have talked about the differences also in Spain and in Singapore. But how do you think, Álvaro, we can encourage collaboration in this sector between both countries?
I can tell you that the interior designers, they're super dynamic people, and they are. When I talk to them, I visit them or they visit our showroom. Can you tell me which projects are you working on? Yeah, I'm working in this one here in Singapore, but in this one in London, in this one in Hong Kong, in this one. So you cannot believe how integrated they are in both countries. I think that the Singaporeans are really, I would describe, they have a lot of drive, they have a lot of interest in working in different cultures. They love to work in Japan, but they love to work also in projects in Europe. So the collaboration is there. Same response that I made for architects. If we can do a kind of collaboration between universities or learning schools, it will be fantastic, because when they get this influence from the beginning, then in the projects of the future they will work better together. But I can tell you, they are very dynamic. Also the interior designers in Spain, they are involved in projects all around the world. So again, main thing to work at the universities, and then to try to make them involved in some public works, some public commercial jobs.
So there's still room for improvement, but we have already a great collaboration between both countries, or all of the countries in the world, basically. And finally, you have talked about sustainability. You have mentioned it in, I think, 2 questions ago through, and I cannot remember. But so you have talked about sustainability, the environmental efforts that both countries are making. How do you think that Spain and Singapore are facing the sustainability issue in the interior design sector?
To be honest, 10 years ago when I was visiting interior designers or architects, I barely heard about sustainability, and now it's every day. There are some projects that they only buy material if it's what they call green material or carbon neutral material. And more companies, more and more industries are using renewable energies. We have just started our solar plant in our factory in Spain. Here in Singapore, we are also starting to see more and more solar plants. But again, for me, the most important thing is that when you go and visit an interior designer, when you go and visit an architect, a developer, a general contractor, now you are starting to hear, no, I'm gonna choose this material instead of this other one because this one is greener, this is carbon neutral. Yeah, I know that this is much more expensive, but I don't care. I want to take care of the environment, and so this is happening. And to be honest, I think that Singapore and Spain, they are doing well. They are not leading the pack, but they are doing well. They are making more and more efforts, and in the last 3-4 years, I've seen a lot of improvement in both countries.
So there are environmental efforts from both countries, but who do you think is leading the pack?
In my region here in APAC, I would say Australia. Australia, starting from the government, also the companies, I think they are one step ahead the others. Mm-hmm. And in Europe, no doubt, is Scandinavia. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, they started 10-15 years ago, and you can see in everything, even in the electric vehicles. They have a lot of, the network in Scandinavia is better than in any other country in Europe. So I would say Australia and Scandinavia. This is my opinion.
Yeah, so Spain and Singapore, we have also to improve a little bit and to keep exploring the sustainability and how to make it even better, and we can take those countries in reference. So thank you very much, Álvaro, for being here and for giving us an overview of the current situation of the sector, of the future and the trends. So thank you for giving us this thorough exploration of the sector. Thank you so much for coming here.
No, thank you very much. I hope it is useful for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
And see you next week with more content.